we talked about another issue is the storage. Then we have issue with the hardware. That what hardware to use, how to maintain that, when do I need to upgrade. So all that information we don't have, and we need to plan for that. And then how do I secure my infrastructure? How do I make sure that one of my person who knows everything suddenly decides to leave? What do I do? Right? So I need all that information. These are the issues that I need to manage for the infrastructure. Then after infrastructure, I have a platform issues. Right? Compatibility. The Windows server doesn't work with the Linux server. What do I do? Then integrate bridge. The Linux is not compatible with SQL server. How do I do? Which one do I upgrade? What time do I upgrade? Then the version control. I have Windows servers, and suddenly my Linux client cannot connect to it. And I learned that XYZ software is not compatible with certain version. What do I do with that? How do I do the capacity planning? My Windows server supports 200 users, and tomorrow I have 400 users. What do I do for that? I think one of our participants has some issues with the voice. There's an online participant.
Okay, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that. You keep on talking about the presentation.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So after platform management, I have issues with the software management. When do I go to Microsoft Office 2010? Do I go there or not? And then my certain application that connect to Excel 2007 version will not connect to 2010. What will I do then? So all that, all those things I have to worry about. Which software works for other software? Access control. Who can access these softwares? And then the big issue is the integration. If I'm using Oracle server, how do I connect my Oracle server to my DB2 or my SQL server? Because some data is in Oracle, some data is in SQL server. Or Oracle is not connected to my Visual Basic applications. So I need integration. So the data that my Visual Basic application is generating, I want Oracle to have that data. How do I integrate to? So these are all issues. Any other issues you guys can think about? Anybody? Platform, infrastructure, software manager, or any other IT issues?
Your answers don't have to be right. They don't have to be accurate, but please speak up.
It doesn't have to be right.
Yeah, speak up, okay?
Okay, so let me ask you a second question. What do I do? How do I manage these issues? Any brilliant ideas? How do I deal with capacity planning? Anyone? Think about it. My database supports 200 million records today. It needs to support 400 million in 2 years. How do I plan that? What do I need to think about? Just brainstorm. Just throw out anything.
To have some good hardware.
Good hardware, okay.
And software as well.
Software, what about storage?
Storage, yes, of course.
Right, I need more hardware. Right, and then I have to make sure when the new hardware is compatible with my software. Right, I might need to upgrade the hardware. Right, so all these issues are the big problem in IT. And I have to deal with them every day. capacity planning is something, is not that you do it today and then you're good. No, you need to do it today for tomorrow, and you have to do it tomorrow for the after tomorrow.
You need to put some space for like other advancements and upgradation.
Yes. So I have to continuously plan for that. Right?
Yes.
So I have to have certain people who are responsible for capacity planning, who are continuously updating their plans and make sure they follow those plans. And it goes for everything. Somebody is responsible for upgrade, version control, capacity planning, compatibility. So I need to continuously, as an IT department, if I have to worry about all those things, how would I support the business? On top of all this, business comes back and says, you know what, I need 4 new applications to be built within let's say 2 weeks. So what do I do with all this stuff? Somehow I need to manage this, right? So for that, what we do is, hold on. So while we are dealing all these issues, somebody introduced internet. Right? They say, you know what? Now you have to deal with internet as well. Apart from all the issues you were dealing with, now you're worried about another open window, open door, threats, and at the same time, your business will exponentially grow. So deal with that as well. All your issues, all your infrastructure, all your hardware problems, all your business support, and now deal with internet as well. So at that point, we realized that, you know what? Take all the software, move it on internet. So now what I'm doing, rather than having my Microsoft Exchange server installed for emails, I use Gmail. Right? We all use Gmail?
Yes.
Let me give you a surprise. At Motorola, we removed all Microsoft Exchange servers. We have no servers in Motorola that deal with email anymore. We contracted with Google, and Google gave us dedicated servers. So my email address is mbilal@motorola.com, but it is running on Gmail servers. So my interface is just like Gmail, but the email address is mbilal@motorola.com. So I threw away all my email, all my software problems, all my Exchange server problems, all my capacity problem. It's Google's headache. What do I get? I only pay for the number of email addresses and the storage that we use. I do not pay for a capacity planning. I do not pay for upgrades. I do not pay for compatibility. I do not pay for the resources that are sitting in my network that I'm not using. I only pay for the things that I use. So all my software went on the cloud. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. At that point, we introduced the concept which is called software as a service. Now, I have a little joke on the screen.
Do you have a question?
Yes, question.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question. Like, yes, we are using services, as you just have given the example of Gmail, that we are using the services of Gmail, and you're just paying for those services which you're using. But what they are actually doing with your data, how they're dealing with it, how they are dealing with your information, how they're providing you, those services. You know?
When you say how,
Yeah.
what do you mean by how?
Like, you don't need to deal with all the servers, databases, and all. they are doing it. You're just using services. Okay?
Right.
They are providing it. So how they are handling your data? So for that they need to maintain some service or what?
Right. So in Google, their job for us is to maintain the infrastructure. So Google as a company needs to deal with it. But Motorola as a business, I mean our main business is cell phones. It's not IT. So if you don't deal with IT, it's good for us. Now Google is a totally different business model. They deal with the IT. So they plan for all that. I don't worry about that. I don't know what they're planning. Only thing I know that I have access to Gmail, I have enough storage, and my services never go down. Right? So this becomes the concept of software as a service. Have you guys heard about Salesforce.com?
No.
Salesforce is another company that gives you the sales software. But everything is web-based. So you can manage your sales, you can manage your customers, you can manage your repair, all kinds of things related to sales. You can manage on the web. Just like Gmail does the emails, Salesforce.com is a sales service, sales software that you can use, and you only pay for the part that you use. If we only use customer management, you just buy the customer management module. Imagine if you have to maintain that software, that you might only use customer management, but then you have to have all the software installed and the hardware and capacity planning and the security. I don't worry about anything. What do I worry about now? The services I use, and I only pay for that. I don't need people to manage my sales software. I don't need hardware to run my software. All that money I save. So it comes the software as a service. So usually my overall cost is less than having that whole software installed in my company. So my business is happy, right? IT is not crying about resources. IT is not crying about other things. We just use what we pay for. Right? So you don't need to handle with installation, setup, daily backup, this, that, all that. So remember, software as a service. Software as a service. Have you guys heard about it before?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Yes? Okay. So the joke I have here is that one guy is saying that, you know, here's I'm gonna buy some software. I'm gonna buy some software. Now these jokes have two perspectives. This joke have two perspectives. One perspective is of cloud computing. Said, what are you talking about buying software? What are you talking about buying software? We don't buy software. And the other perspective is the Rainbow Center CDs. Right? I don't know how many of us buy software in Pakistan. Alright. Next thing. After the software went on the internet, somebody gave an idea. How about we put our platform on internet as well? Right? Not only software, but a platform as service. What's a platform as service? All your computing platform becomes a service. Give you an example. How many of you have seen the hosting companies or done hosting of your website?
You all are aware of hosting websites, right?
We all are aware of the hosting services, but we are not actually.
Right. So you're aware of hosting services. So you're aware of hosting services. That's good enough. Right. So what you can do. You can either host your website. Or you can even purchase a full Windows server. Which is hosted at GoDaddy.com or Bringster or some company like that. It's your own hardware server. That nobody else uses. But only you use it. To host your websites. Or do whatever you want to do. So rather than you installing a big hardware on your house or somewhere in your company, you just buy software from GoDaddy.com and the whole hardware server. And then you use it the way you want it. So that's your platform as a service. Right, the whole computing platform. Delivered as a service. And then going to the next level, you can also have companies developing applications for you, do the testing, support all the stuff. So if you're a web application hosting on GoDaddy on your dedicated server, there is a problem with that server, you don't deal with it. GoDaddy.com people will deal with it. You just have it as a service. Right? So you don't need to worry about deploying my website or doing anything like that. GoDaddy.com will do it for you. And then you just happy camper. You don't have to worry about stuff. So here comes the concept of platform as a service. Any questions on that?
Does anybody else have a question?
All right. No. Okay. All right. Then somebody came up and said, you know what? How about everything on the internet? Everything on the internet. Not only Windows and web servers, also my hardware. So there are companies out there in US today that they buy the whole data center or a certain facilities in data center. They bought 5 servers. 5 operating systems, and then they buy all that kind of stuff and security, all that, and install their applications on that, and access it through internet. And all their users connect to their data servers, which they do not manage. So all that becomes the infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. Right? So you are only built for the things you use. You're only built for the service as a service. You don't deal with people. You don't deal with hardware. You don't deal with software. You don't deal with security. How great is that? So you actually focus on supporting your business. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what are the 3 things we talked about? Software as a service. Platform as a service. Infrastructure as a service.
Hold on just one second, Blas.
Right. So finally.
Can you the rest of the guys give any example of all the 3? Anybody apart from you? Any of you guys give an example for software as a service or infrastructure as a service or platform as a service?
I don't know, Mariam. How many of these examples we have seen in Pakistan yet? I know software as a service is very commonly used.
Yeah. Can you guys give an example?
There are companies. Say it again.
No, I'm asking these people if they can give any examples. Just to know if they've understood the concept.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you see in Iqra University? You think Iqra can use platform as a service? Where is your IT department? Where are they located?
Guys.
Where is the Iqra University IT department located?
Where is their IT department located in Iqra?
It's in the university.
It's in the university. How many people?
Divided into networks and the analyst. So
okay. Okay, so how many people do you have in your
How many
people do you have in your network department?
100, less than that.
100 in your what department?
IT department.
You have 100 people in the university?
100 people. 100 people.
So,
okay, so how those 100 people, right?
Okay, so how those 100 people, right?
What's the number?
Less than 100.
What's the number? Okay, less than 100. Let's say 875. Okay, less than 100. Let's say 875 people. Okay. And then university has to manage those people, to manage all the infrastructure. So how about we buy all that infrastructure from a third company, and then all these 75 people, that third company can hire those people. You don't have to deal with those. You don't have to deal with those people. You don't have to worry about their salaries. You don't have to worry about their salaries. You don't have to worry about hardware upgrades. Software upgrades. You don't have to worry about software upgrades. We just use infrastructure as a service. Now don't consider. Let me put it this way. When you're doing business. When you're doing business. When you're a businessman. You need to think what's good for your business. There are no ethics. There are no ethics. There are no moral values about how many people get laid off or get fired. Because they will find jobs at another place. But what's good for business? That you don't have to deal with these issues. You think any company would like that? You think any company would like that? Or no? Or no? No. If you are the president of Iqra University today, and I tell you, and you spend, let's say, 600,000 rupees every quarter. Every 2 months you spend 600,000 rupees managing your infrastructure. I would give you all these services for 100,000 rupees every 2 months. You don't have to deal with 75 people or their issues. Would you take it?
I don't need to.
Why not? Why not? You need to handle those people. You don't need to handle those people. You don't need to handle the hardware infrastructure upgrades, this and that. So anybody company would want. To do that. So that's one of the key things. That's one of the key things. That it gives business much more resources and take their consideration away from the problem and focus on business. So anywhere we use infrastructure as a service, or platform as a service, or software as a service, it's called cloud computing. Right? I mean, if you have to start your company, you don't need to raise a capital. Install the hardwares and softwares and servers and all that. Right? You just buy it as a service. So it's not as much money as you would want as an individual company. Right? You just pay for the services. Right? You just pay for the services and you use them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. So this is how the whole thing looks like. So company A using Salesforce. Right here. And then company B using Salesforce as well. Company B using Salesforce as well. And then company B also using Amazon. And then company B also using Amazon and Gmail. And then company C using Salesforce. And then company C using Salesforce and Gmail. So all these eBay, Salesforce, Amazon, Gmail, GoDaddy.com, FileShare, they're all sitting on the cloud. On the internet. And different companies are using it. So the Salesforce guys, they just created one application, and everybody is using it. It has to be so customizable. That the data doesn't get mixed up between two companies. Company A doesn't see the data of company B, and company B doesn't see the company of company C. They can have a separate database on the back. Right? So that's what your cloud looks like. Make sense? Any questions? No?
I think it's pretty much clear right now.
Security, I mean, it comes with the service. So I mean, So I mean,
security is part of the service you buy.
security is part of the service you buy.
You just don't worry about it. It's just like you log.
You just don't worry about it. It's just like you log into the website, log in,
it's just like
your
using
username,
Gmail.
password. It's just like using Gmail.
I mean, again,
Companies
can be
really.
What word should I use here?
What word should I use here? Naive.
And not have a proper
Password policies. And get hacked.
You can use certificates and all that.
You can use certificates and all that for policies as well.
For the security.
For the security.
So it comes with the package.
So it comes with the package.
Any of you has done any sale?
Any of you has done any sale on eBay?
Or bought anything from eBay?
Or bought anything from eBay?
No.
So eBay has different store.
So eBay has different store.
You can register eBay.
You can register eBay.
And then open your own store.
And then open your own store.
And then all of you can register
and then
eBay
all
and
of you can register eBay and
stores.
open your individual stores.
And you will not have
your
store
products
A available in
of
store B.
store
They're
A
totally
available in
independent.
store B. They're totally independent.
So that's the service you get from
So
eBay.
that's the service you get from eBay.
So all your
shopping cart, web, this and that, all that is sitting in the cloud.
You don't have to have your servers.
You don't have to have your
You don't
servers.
have to have your
You
hardware.
don't have to have
You don't
your
have to have your
hardware.
business software.
You don't have to have your business
So
software.
if you are selling on eBay,
So if you are selling on eBay,
you are doing cloud computing.
you are doing cloud
You
computing.
don't need anything of your
You
own.
don't need anything
You
of
only
your
worry
own.
about the things you sell.
You only worry about the
and
things you sell
software and all that you leave it on
and
eBay.
software and all that you leave it on eBay.
So that's where the cloud computing
So
comes in.
that's where the cloud computing comes in.
Now there are pros and cons.
Now
like
there are pros
everything
and cons like everything else.
So if you see on the straight
So
line,
if you
we
see
have
on
scale
the
and cost,
straight lines, we have scale and
which is a
cost,
pro.
which is a pro.
You can have a next generation
You can have a next
architectures
generation
without paying for it.
architectures without paying for it.
You have encapsulated change management.
You have
If
encapsulated
something
change
is changing on
management.
the server,
If something is changing on the
comes with the
server,
service, you don't worry about
it
it.
comes with the service. You don't worry about it.
You have a choice and agility.
You have a
can
choice and
change when
agility.
you want.
You can
You
change
can
when you
pick
want.
things you want.
You can pick things you want.
What are the negative things?
What are the negative things?
Lack of control, because you don't
Lack of
control your
control
hardware
because
now.
you don't control your hardware now.
Security, yes, still is an issue.
Security, yes, still is an issue.
I mean, it may have good security.
I mean,
but
it
can
may have
still be
good
a concern.
security, but can it still be a concern?
Lock-in means.
Lock-in means
one
I pick one
cloud computing provider.
cloud computing provider.
Very difficult to move to another.
Very difficult to move to
So
another.
you're locked into those with those.
So you're
guys.
locked into those with those guys.
So and in certain infrastructure
So
like
and
where
in
you do not
certain
have strong
infrastructure
internet
like where you do
connection,
not have strong
you have a
internet
reliability
connection,
problem as well.
you have a reliability problem as well.
For example, this seminar that we are
For
doing
example,
right
this seminar that we are doing right now,
now, it's all hosted through the cloud.
it's
right?
all hosted through the
Anybody
cloud,
can log
right?
into this and then see the
Anybody can
seminar.
log into this and then see the seminar.
But if you don't have
But if you don't
internet
have
issue, if you have
internet issue, if you have internet
then you have a
issues,
reliability problem.
then you have a reliability problem.
Okay. So now,
Okay. So now,
to get the truth behind it, and I'm sure
look at the
this,
truth behind it, and I'm sure this
joke that I have in there,
joke
little
that I
comic,
have in
Mario,
there,
you would love
little
this one.
comic, Mariam, you would love this one.
So when you go
So
present
when you go
these cloud-based
present
things,
these cloud-based
this is
things,
how people look at
this
you.
is how people look
One
at
guy
you.
comes in as like blah blah.
One
blah,
guy
cloud,
comes in
cloud,
as like
cloud,
blah blah blah,
everything's a
cloud, everything's a
So you're
cloud.
a technologist and a philosopher.
You're a
all in
technologist and a philosopher all in one.
one. Anyways, I have used probably all
Anyways,
those terms.
I have used probably all those terms.
Okay.
Okay,
So the truth behind it.
so the truth behind it.
Cloud computing is nothing new.
Cloud computing is nothing new.
I mean, it's out there.
I mean, it's
since the time we
out
started using
there
email,
since the time we started using
or any
email
kind of email.
or any kind of email.
It's wrongly claimed to be the future.
It's wrongly
Now,
claimed to be
it's
the
a very,
future.
Very,
Now, it's a very,
contradictory
very
statement.
contradictory
Controversial, I
statement.
would say.
Controversial, I would say.
People say, oh, you know what? It's
People
the
say, oh,
future
you know
and this
what?
and that.
It's the future and this and that.
But it's been happening
But
for a very long time.
It's been happening
We come
for a
up with
very long
something new
time.
term and say,
We
this is
come
the
up with
future.
something new term and say this is the future.
So I don't know if it's a future.
So I don't know
This
if
is
it's a
what we all
future.
be doing
This
and
is
we are
what we
all
all
doing.
be
It's
doing
not
and we
future,
are
it's
all
already
doing.
there.
It's not future. It's already there. Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you think that it's future, then you are in a problem because it's not future. This is what it is today. And it's been there for a long time. I mean, it's nothing new, as I said. And again, it is not the solution of world hunger. I mean, you know, IT people would come and claim that it can resolve all your problems, but this is not necessarily true. It comes with its own issues and its own problems.
Is it the best fit for every business model?
Is it the best fit for every business model? Probably not.
I mean, the
Panwala near your street is a business model.
Should he do cloud computing?
Should he do cloud computing?
Yeah, we do.
No, right?
No, right?
Right? Or the fruit cart on the
or the fruit cart on the corner of two streets.
Again, you need to consider that everything.
Again, you need to consider that everything is a business model.
So it doesn't have to be.
So it doesn't have to be
high-fi business.
Sometimes you support small businesses.
ICRA University must have a reason
ICRA University
not to use cloud computing.
must have a reason not to use cloud computing.
Right? Or let's say, think about
right? Or let's say,
NASA.
think about
You know what
NASA.
NASA is, like? National Agency of
You know what NASA is, like?
Space
National
Agency?
Agency
The American
of,
Space Agency?
Space Agency? The American
They all
Space
know
Agency?
that.
Yeah.
Finally heard
Yeah,
everyone's
everybody knows
voice on
NASA,
that.
Right, everybody knows NASA, right?
I've been trying to say
Exactly.
names so people would say something.
I've been trying to say names
NASA
so
it is.
people would say something. NASA it is.
So what happens if NASA starts doing cloud
So,
computing?
what happens if NASA starts doing cloud computing?
No, you have a rover sitting on the Mars.
No, you have a rover sitting on the
and then
Mars,
suddenly the internet connection goes down.
and then suddenly the internet connection goes down.
Right? Hello, rover, can you hear me?
Right?
Can you turn
Hello,
on your
rover,
video
can you
camera
hear
so I
me?
can hear what's going on?
Can you turn on your video camera so I
Right?
can hear what's going on?
So it may not
Right?
be fit for every
So,
business.
It may not be fit for every business.
And it has a real value if
And
it's properly
it
utilized.
has a real value if it's
I mean, if you
properly
just use cloud
utilized.
computing because you want to look cool,
I mean, if you just use cloud
you know,
computing
it has
because you want
probably
to
has
look
no,
cool,
not that big of a value.
you know, it has probably has not
Right?
that big of a value.
The only thing it will change the
Right?
way the business
The only
works
thing it
today.
will change the way the business
It
works
might.
today.
You have to change your business model.
It might.
to go
You have to
into
change your business
cloud
model to go
Today
into
you sell everything
cloud
by
computing.
yourself.
Today
your
you
own
sell everything
softwares.
by yourself.
You manage your inventory.
You have
and
your own
everything.
softwares,
But if you
manage
go on
your
the
inventory
cloud,
and everything.
you need to change
But
the
if
way
you
your
go on the
business
cloud,
works.
you need to
Because
change
everything
the
is now
way
on
your
the
business
internet.
works.
And your processes has to
Because
run
everything is now on
according
internet,
to what you get
and
from
your
internet.
processes has to run according to what you get from
Make
internet.
sense?
Make sense?
Alrighty. I think we are 12 minutes above
Alrighty.
the scheduled time.
I think we are 12 minutes
questions?
above the scheduled
Now
time.
the question doesn't have to be related
Any
to
questions?
cloud computing. As we talked
Now
about
the
it,
question
it could
doesn't have to be
anything
related to cloud
IT.
computing. As we
And
talked
don't
about
ask
it,
me my
it could be
Facebook
anything related to IT. And don't ask me my Facebook
I
password.
have a very ridiculous question, Bilal.
I thought you said you have my Facebook password.
I thought you said you have my Facebook
I think
password.
I gave mine away today in the class while logging on to
Okay.
Facebook
Okay.
to get the link. No, okay. My question to you is that you know, while I was reposting the seminar, and while we were trying to fix the computer, I was cracking this joke with everybody. Somebody posted a very weird video of a head of a state describing cloud computing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And okay, so imagine
Yeah, I've seen
if
that.
the cloud that is somewhere above this hotel and it starts raining, and what would happen to that cloud? Will it still work? Will everything
That's a
still work?
ridiculous joke.
I told
It's
you
a
I had a
ridiculous joke.
ridiculous question. No, because that video did leave me with a very big question mark on my face. Actually, initially I didn't believe it was really happening, but then I started questioning myself. Is that really true?
Well, no, I mean, it's just like raining when you have your server's computer sitting inside, right?
It's just like raining when you have your
And I can't
server's
believe I'm
computer
actually
sitting
answering
inside, right? And I can't believe I'm actually answering that.
Questions, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
So, any questions related to cloud computing, related to IT, anything at all, any subject?
Yeah, I have a